Good morning. It's May 4th, 2021. I just got out of my therapy session and had just a really great conversation, and thought I should try to share or talk on it a little bit. I Where should I go from here? It was also great. So one of the thoughts that I had was that so I got this comment on YouTube from an individual who was asking about God, and he wanted to know the character of God. He wanted to know solid truths. He wanted to know beyond the feelings, beyond the beliefs, beyond all that sort of stuff. Who is God, and what is it that he is supposed to do to live a right life for God, or something like that. And he was really wanting rock solid things. However, he did make this mention about seeking God. The more he seeks God, the more the petty things of the world fall away, which I thought was a great statement, and I definitely really agreed with it. I really resonated with it and feel like I've said similar things before. And then what that got me thinking about was this, one, I don't think God works that way. I think that's how man works. I think that's what man's desires are and what man feels it needs to have in order to know God or be with God. I think that there's something that there's a knowing that we all have. There's a knowing that is part of our creation. There's a knowing that is deep within us, I guess, and it's a knowing that we don't know, in the sense of it's just there. It's a knowing that I don't believe we want to define it, and we want to be able to I guess understand it. And I think that we have it, but we don't need to know it in the sense of like a knowledge of something, if that makes sense. I don't think that that's I don't think that's important, actually. I think that's all like the petty, if you will. I think just God is like that connection. And yeah, so that was something that I was kind of thinking of, is like how, because I was trying to figure out how to respond to him, and it's it's a knowing that we don't know, but that we have. And we just don't know it in the sense of our our current understanding and abilities. And I don't think that that's a mystery. I don't think that that's even super ambiguous or needs more than that. But I think that we want more, and so then we seek that or create that. And then I think that we come up short. And because it's man's understanding, not God's understanding, which is beyond ours. However, I think because we are, I believe God is within us. We are created of God, by God, that we are. If not, I guess the idea was like talking about how like God is like 100% MDMA ecstasy, and we are like some version of that, but not the 100%. Like, and I think that maybe we might, I don't know, maybe we are, maybe we are 100%, but because God is all of us. And you know what I mean? Like maybe we are also 100%, but I don't believe that's how we experience ourselves, nor how we see each other at this current moment in time. So we are I guess, 99% of ecstasy, minus the 1%, if you will, or, like, and I think that we are is really meaning what it is that we are connected to or understand of ourselves and its relation and connection to God. So I think that's something that is probably fully in us, and then over time becomes smaller, as in our knowing and our connection. And for some of us, and many of us, I think then we also can come to know more of that, and then begin to have more of a percentage, if you will, of more of the we are, the part of ourself, we can increase our connection to God, which then allows us to have a more potent amount of God with us. And again, this is like from our experience. I believe that separation, disconnection, all those things are not real, but we are unable to access it or understand it or whatever. So it's about us being able to, I guess, to some degree, get to that knowing or connect with that, with God fully, which I don't know, which I believe that we all are fully connected to Creator, God, however way you want to define it, that we are actually fully connected, like, but we, sorry, my app is doing something here with me. But we do not, I don't know if it's that we're not able to hold all of that at once. I think maybe part of our goal is to get to a space where we can begin to hold more of that connection. My therapist was mentioning that in his Jewish understanding, basically the Jewish folks, I believe, because he gave me a little bit of a history that Jews are the people of Israel, and Jacob, who was the son of Abraham and Sarah, his name in Hebrew is Israel, and Jacob was Isaac's child, and Israel means wrestles with God. And I think the wrestles with God, I loved hearing that, is different than a seeking of God, if that makes sense. The seeking of God is that belief or that relationship with God in which we feel lost or not connected to God. Like we've lost that connection, so we're trying to connect with that again. Whereas I think wrestling with God is that you are actually like connected with God and you have a relationship with that connection with God. And So I feel like to some degree, like wrestling would be like a step further along than seeking. And ultimately, I believe that the knowing is that God is with us and in us, and everything. And because God is with us and in us, then God, we know God, and we know what God knows. If we are able to connect with that part of us, if that makes sense. Definitely something I think to kind of like continue to think about, but you know that the need to know or be known is a very common thing, I think, for us as humans. Like, I know I have a huge desire. Like, I want to be known. I want to be understood. I want to, like, that's, and I don't think that that's a God thing. Like, I don't, like, and in everything that I've heard, God actually already knows that because God is our creator. So, I think the optimal idea would be to get to a point in which we don't feel like we need to know each other or be known, other than to be known, I don't know, I guess as God or known by God, and to know that, which I think is in alignment with a lot of different things. And again, I think because we try to put language to what we know, it falls short, just like it is for me right now. Even though I can feel like I'm like being like, oh wow, I got this knowledge or this wisdom, in a lot of ways it's not necessary and not fully present. It's not all the knowing, if you will. But I don't think, yeah, I always say that that God is an experience. God is something that I experience, have experienced, and do experience. And I guess even with this person, it's not about what I believe or don't believe, or what I do or don't do, or any of those sorts of things. So I guess that's like the solid thing. I've lost my train of thought here for a second, but yeah. Like, we don't have to explain ourselves to God. And we don't need God to explain God's self to us either. Because we already know. I think I'll leave that there for now.